Chat, what is up? We are live right now on both websites, and we got to talk. We got to talk about some things today. We have some stuff to address. Probably not going to be too long of a stream today. I don't know if you guys saw the mogul mail that I posted, the tweet that I posted, or the off-brand post yesterday. But we had some really sad news about off-brand productions I want to talk a little bit about. We also need to talk about how this streaming thing's going to work, a plan for 2025. And also a plan for the rest of this month about League of Legends. So a lot of things to address in this stream today. And I'm sure a lot of you guys will have questions. Will there be yet another unpaid intern? What is going to happen to members? What's going to happen to Twitch subs? Is Riot specifically targeting you to make sure that you don't rise in the ranks because you actually look pretty good when you play the video game? These are all things that people think that we're going to address today. Okay? I am done. 8 ads. Oh my God, 18 ads. So they still hate the ads over on Twitch, eh? They still hate the ads over on Twitch. Oh, let me try this out. All right, we're going to try this out for today. Hold up. Otto made some shit that combines both chats. Let me see if it works. Pause, chat. Oh, I have to download it? Otto, is this a bug? Okay, I'm going to message him. What's the password? Because I don't download random things from random people. He could have been hacked. I'm going to ask him what the password is. Because Otto would know the password. Pause. He got it. Son of a... How did he know the password was penis? Installing right away, my liege. Does this work? Oh, wait, what the hell? Can you guys see? Oh, wow, it's tiny, though. We believe in giving you the freedom to simulcast on services, but we want to ensure a Twitch user experience is not being compromised. You do not use third-party services that combine activity from other platforms or services on your Twitch stream during your simulcast, such as merging chat or other features, to ensure the Twitch community is included in the entirety of your experience of your live stream. Are you telling me the liberals over at twitch.tv won't allow me, a right-wing YouTube streamer, to combine chats? Is that real? Is that real? Since when? Dan, fix that. All right, we don't got to dilly-dally too much. The first thing I want to talk about is off-brand. All right, that's the first thing I want to talk about. So let me pull up the tweet. If you guys haven't seen, I tweeted about it, but off-brand posted this yesterday. Oops, that's not right. There. They posted this yesterday, which was an announcement that we are shutting down the productions side of off-brand, the productions and event side of the business. Because frankly, it's not sustainable. It is losing too much money. We weren't able to keep it running. We tried as best we could, but it has not worked. Off-brand games has worked. It's been very successful. Our first game published, Rivals of Aether 2, is doing great. Thank you to everyone who's bought, played, or watched Rivals of Aether 2 and is excited for any future games that we got. I use off-brand for the marathon, and I love them. Sorry to hear this. Thank you, Senna. Yeah, it's sad. It's for sure sad. But appreciate everyone like Senna who's worked with us, or maybe just even y'all who watched an event of off-brand. Because shit, I mean, someone made a thread on my Reddit, but we actually, a lot of shit happened. Like, the team did a lot, man. The team did a lot in the short time. Like the 2 years. Someone made the list. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Here's the list. So a lot of things happen in that time. Don't say who the fuck is Cinna. Don't disrespect Cinna here. We're gonna be nice. But anyway, I made a mogul mail about it as well. That went a little more in depth. I made a video on this channel called My Plan to Quit Streaming. Y'all hear this? In that video, I talked about how I started a company called OffBrand with the idea of making events for not just myself, but other creators. Y'all hear this? And that company is mostly made up of former Beyond the Summit employees. Unfortunately, yesterday we had to announce that we're closing down the production side of OffBrand. Now, this video is absolutely not to garner sympathy in any way, shape, or form, but it is more so to answer questions about how we got to this point, and then some just general misinformation I've seen, to respond all of it in a one-stop shop. And today on stream, we're going to add some more details. I didn't want to go into all of it on the video because it honestly felt a bit convoluted at points, but we'll talk about it a bit more today. Is this because the YouTube contract is over? The YouTube contract allowed me to have a lot more money to like invest in places, right? So I don't have a big sum of money to, keep it rolling for a year, 2 years, whatever. But even if I did, whenever that money runs out, again, underlying business model was not making money. So let's talk about why it wasn't making money. Now, a lot of people are hypothesizing that it's because events don't make money, but that's not actually true. Yeah. Okay. This is the big thing. I think I saw a lot of people online being like, of course, Let It Go talks about how events lose money. But when I say events lose money, usually I mean it for me as a creator, that individual event in isolation lost me money. And it can range from like, an event maybe loses 10K to an event loses like, I think at the worst it ever was like 250K. But you could also then make the argument that, it actually technically didn't lose me money, right? It's like it's investing back into the business. When I do streamer games, like streamer games, the most viewed thing I think I've ever done. I think straight up. Like I think the clips from streamer games on SportsCenter has probably been seen by more people than anything else I've ever done. Apparently it was on my cousins in France told me they had it on French national TV. They had a weird sports segment and they played the Simon Says clip. And so you could argue like, yeah, like maybe that loses me individually money, the guy paying for that event to happen. But I make it back in the long run. It does not lose the production company money to make an event. So the issue was less that events don't make money, but more so that the appetite from creators for events of that scale at the cadence it would need to be would not allow people to be employed full time. It only really makes sense for like contract work. And you can kind of see that like almost all big events, I think, come from non-English speaking streamers. Like I think the French streamers are doing some crazy shit. I think the Spanish speaking streamers do some crazy shit. I've seen the Portuguese speaking streamers do some crazy shit. But like the English speaking streamers, I don't think really do a lot of events. I think the only people I see do it is like OTK, Cutie. I do some. There's some one-offs too. There's some one-offs. Kai, of course. Yeah, Kai for sure. But the examples are very few and far between. And I think the amount of people who are doing events are also decreasing. Like I think a lot of people who used to do events perhaps more regularly do them less now. Because I think, you just look at the economics of it and it doesn't make as much sense. It doesn't make it. What Point Crow needs to do is not fucking spend all his time and effort and money running an event. It's run a fucking Pokemon. That's it. I mean, frankly, that's it. If he wants to have his best YouTube video ever, all he has to do is beat a game of Pokemon. That's the truth. That's the goddamn truth. It's not putting in any six figures into any. That's it, baby. That's it. Come on. And I think that's the case with a lot of people on this list, which is why a lot of people on this list don't do events. Hassan did that show with Twitch, but for the most part, most of these people are just in their bedroom every day, and their costs are like what it costs to keep the lights on and have internet running through their computer. I think they're doing that because that's a reflection of what the audience wants as well. All right. If you look at the best streamed event nominees for 2024, it's a lot different than it was a few years ago. Worse, it's just different. Like the road trip to TwitchCon, that was a fucking banger stream. But the reality is NMP set up all the tech for that. And it's like feeling like you are a part of this road trip with these people with maximum chat interaction, as opposed to something like Streamer Games, which is like, kind of like a fun knockoff Olympics with a bunch of creators, but you don't get that interaction that I think a lot of people vie for when they're watching. Deadass best streamed event might not even be a category, It might not even be a category in a month. Who knows? Or not, sorry, in a month, in a few years, watching streams. And so I think there's like a general shift that creators are doing that is a reflection of their audience's appetite. Now, we were able to make a lot of cool shit happen in the 2 years that we existed, starting from Mogul Money Live, which is kind of like the first event that then started the snowball of OffBrand. But you'll notice a lot of these are just my events. That's just the fact. A lot of them are my events. And I, unfortunately, although I wish I could be, am not a big enough creator to be able to sustain all of those full-time employees. I'm just not. Yeah, I think realistically, it would need about 4 Ludwigs. It'd need about 4 Ludwigs. Because you need to be able to do just huge scale events every month. And I think we had made some progress, right? Like we had done Streamer Awards, Sea Dog Charity Auction, We had a lot of like also brand work, really successful, really profitable brand work. But you just need so much. And we couldn't get it done in 2 years. And so it's like, how long do you give it to see if you can get that done? For example, I did 2 events in the past month. One is World's Greatest Gamer, where I got all the greatest gamers in the world. I flew them out. They drove out 20 people, put them up in hotels. It was a 2-day event, streamed it, and Void eventually won. It was sick. That peaked at about 30,000 viewers. It was a lot of fun to do. The other event I did was League Week. It was in this exact room. We had a pretty cool set. Me and Connor played League for 100 hours straight. I won as many games as I lost, and we peaked at like 38,000 viewers on just my stream. I think 50 across both streams, which is crazy, right? It's crazy because the cost of League Week is 20 times lower, but I think reflects what audiences want, which is like maximum engagement with their streamer. Yeah, this is so true. Like when I do events, I think a lot of you guys don't tune in because you kind of just want me to talk to you in chat, and you don't get that when I do an event because I'm too busy hosting the event. You know what I mean? So a lot less people tune in. Now, if the event is like sick enough, then I think enough people throw it on their fucking TV or whatever. Like streamer games got over like 100,000 viewers because I think that's like sick enough that it's like, yeah, I'll fucking tune in. But I think World's Greatest, a lot of people like foregoed watching it and then maybe had the mentality of like, A, I've already seen this. B, I'm not interested. C, I gave it a shot but didn't care. Or D, like, I'll wait for the YouTube video. This could be an email, little bro. So I think that's also why like a lot of Kai's events are centered around that. You know what I mean? Like Kai's events outside of maybe LBA rarely include him disengaging from his chat. They're just heightened versions of him engaging with his chat. So like League Week was quite eye-opening, I think. And I thought it would do well, but I was surprised how well it did. I mean, really think about this for a moment. I had 30,000 average viewers, peaked at 38,000 watching me play League. You know, and we had some fun shit. There was some fun shit in that stream, right? Like, we got the guests, the therapist. That shit was funny. Like, Poe Belter, Double Lifts, Captain Flowers. They all did a great job. Still, at the end of the day, this is a silver game of League of Legends, a game historically known for not being a good stream game, averaging 30,000 viewers. That's crazy. That's crazy. It's not even like we made progress. It's not even like people are like, man, got to tune in to see the journey. Because every time you tune in, I'd be the same damn rank. Because Connor f***ed me, okay? Don't need to get into the details, but you know what I'm saying. So that was like eye-opening. It's like, okay, you know, like I think I'm a bit of a fucking boomer. I'll say it, bro. I think I might be a bit of a damn boomer. I'm too fixated on like doing events. And part of the reason why I was so fixated on doing events is because I needed to do events because I have this whole production company. Okay. Like I needed to do events, but it wasn't even making sense for me at a certain point as a creator. You know, and by the way, OffBrand is the one who did League Week. Like I contracted them, but the total cost of League Week, I can tell you, is 25,000. That's like the set, that's you know, paying for like the food, that's paying for like the Ubers, like talent fees, like that's it. It's 25K. You know, that's it. That's a very cheap production. It's a very cheap production relative to World's Greatest Gamer, which is a few 100K. That's a few 100,000, you know, cheap relatively. Yeah. I mean, it's not 25K if it's like, you know, you're spending fucking 25K on a Sunday. That's a lot of money for spending on a Sunday. 20K for Ubers and food. No, the biggest cost was the set. The set was 20K. The set was like 22-ish K for setup and tear down on the timeline it was done as well. And then like 2.5K for food, Ubers, talent fees, etc. The set was fire. I agree. I think the set was fire. $833 for LP. Don't do shit like that. Don't do shit. Don't, just as a tip for you in your life as a man, don't break down costs per LP. Because at best, you hurt me, and at worst, you still fucking hurt me. At some point, I might talk a little bit more about how this happened so suddenly, but it's because let's talk about how this happened so suddenly. Okay, so there was a pressure to act quickly after receiving this information. The cost mounted quite quickly. All right, simply put. It got to a basically unsustainable point. And I've seen some people give shit for like the timing of this, right? Like before the holidays, whatever, which is fair criticism. we are doing like a good severance package. We are paying people out for the next 2 months. But the reality is if we were to have kept this business going until March, I would not only have enough money, I would not only not have enough money to keep OffBrand going, but I'd also have to shut down Mogul Moves at that point. It was beginning to impact both businesses with just the burden of costs of the production side. So, okay. Just to get into like some nitty gritty, my money has been horribly managed over the past year to 2 years. And this transition of OffBrand is not just removing the production side, but also changing the leadership of these companies. Now, we already have Aiden, who has stepped in as COO of Mogul Moves. But after Aiden stepped in, this man discovered a couple of things that were going a bit awry. Okay? Aiden's done a damn good job. Now, Aiden's not doing a bad job. Aiden's doing a great job. Aiden's genuinely like probably the most valuable human to me for my businesses on this earth. But basically, my job has been be big streamer dumbass, right? And I hire other people to deal with other things so I can be big streamer dumbass. Because, you know, if I'm not live, I'm unable to produce money to keep the business running, right? I have to be the coal for the engine. And to be the coal, I have to play League at a silver level. It is what it is. You know, other people have other jobs. That's my job. But Aiden found out through like a process of filling out, I think, his own personal taxes, that we hadn't paid taxes at Mogul Moves in like a couple years. The taxes memes were real. I know. Again, I know. Sorry, that's an exaggeration. We didn't not pay for a couple of years, but we missed tax payments along the way during that stretch. Tax payments to the tune of like a few $100,000, right? And we're supposed to be paying taxes quarterly, not annually, quarterly, when you have a business of this size. And so the solution at that point is that we were going to, get some money, because the way I had it set up is that all of my sponsorship money would go through OffBrand. Okay. All my sponsorship money would go through OffBrand, and I would have like a certain percentage for the person who did the sale, and then the certain percentage that would go to OffBrand itself. Think of it as like a little fund to keep everything rolling. Well, I found out, literally, I think a month or two ago, maybe 2 months ago, that my sponsorship money has not been paid out to me in a couple of years. And it was basically being used as float to make OffBrand's numbers look better than they were. And so when I found this out, I was like, oh, damn, the books here were a bit cooked. The books were cooked. Yes, sir. The books were cooked. I scammed myself. And then when me and the team did some digging, we were like, this hole is too deep. This hole is too deep. And if we keep digging in this hole, not only is OffBrand fucked, Mogul Moves is fucked. Everyone loses their job. I still have an ability to make money personally. So I'm not obviously not as affected, because I still have a viewer base. But just for some like relative idea of how bad it is, it's to the tune of about 3 mil. That's the amount of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And so at that point, it's like you have to act now, or this situation gets a whole lot fucking worse, which is why this might feel like quite sudden. Now, I'm not here to get into like, is this maliciousness? Is this incompetence? Like that stuff I will deal with privately, but I'm trying to paint you guys a picture of the circumstances that led this to happening in the timeline that it happened. Now, I think luckily, like I genuinely do believe we have a pretty decent severance package and a very good plan for OffBrand games still to move forward. And also, the willingness and excitement from the team who is working at OffBrand games to make that business last. And a lot of confidence also in that business. No, was it not Germa's fault? Not even a little bit. Aren't you pissed? No, I think I'm more sad. I think I'm more sad because, like, end of the day, I have the ability to like look this shit over. So it's like a you feel a bit fucking stupid, if anything, right? Like I have the ability to do this. I've just focused so much on being the biggest streamer I can, running as many events as I can, making as much money as I can, that I didn't do the due diligence to like maybe prevent this in the first place or fix it earlier, you know? And maybe it's like a bad trait, but like I hate so much the idea of focusing so much attention on like who fucked me or getting back what's mine, even though I joke about that a lot. Because I know if I put like 110% of my effort into like making that shit back or making more next year or making a fucking banger company with off-brand games, making sure the people who fucked me just have no piece of it, like I'll be better off. You know, it's the same thing in like League, bro. And I know it's like stupid to make that analogy, but it's like, what is the best way to recover from a game where you played as well as you could have, or maybe played really well and your teammates fucked you? It's like boot up another game. Boot up another game and don't tilt. If you tilt about it and you focus on the last game, that's all you're thinking about, then your next game isn't going to go better. And in life, you're already in the next game. You don't get to sit and not queue up. I'm already queued up. Against my will. I queue up every fucking day. The sun sets and it rises again. So it's like, I just got to de-tilt. I can't focus on that shit, and I got to focus on this next game. So I'm in the next game. We're living the next game right now. But anyway, that's some more info of like what happens. And also why I'm confident that this like new leadership we have and team we have is going to do a great job. No, nobody stole. It wasn't theft. It was just it was mismanagement. So I'm excited for a brighter future. But it is still a sad day. But for multi-streaming, I don't know if I'll multi-stream after today. And we'll talk about that right now. So right now, my streams don't perform as well as Charlie's. I don't have like these examples where my streams after the stream is over performs insanely well compared to how well it performed during the actual stream. And this is apparent, like you guys can look this up. This is not hidden information. You can simply just go to my live streams and sort by most popular. And almost all of them are going to be events or marathon streams that you guys actually can't even see because they're only available on the back end. Now, a lot of these still do quite like well, like these are still making a good amount of money, but it's not 90% of the revenue is coming after it's over. It is closer to like 20 to 40%. Okay. It's closer to 20, 40%. And I don't think that revenue is impossible to get without multi-streaming. Again, as I said earlier, I think you can get that revenue by just uploading VODs you stream on Twitch to a VOD channel. And then that VOD channel, every single video still has the ability to perform incredibly well. And Connor's a great example of someone who's consistently getting 100,000 plus views on these videos. And I'm sure he's making thousands from those videos that he wouldn't otherwise be able to make because Charlie's right. The moment the Twitch stream is over, you stop making money on the Twitch stream. Now, there are a couple of things to address here. After doing hundreds of streams on YouTube, I can say unequivocally, a lot of the times my streams get demonetized. They get demonetized because there's a copyright claim. Copyright claims happen, and when they happen, the entire VOD loses its revenue from the moment the copyright strike happens until the copyright clear is claimed or the VOD itself is edited. All the revenue of that VOD is gone. It can get 2 billion views. I will never see a penny of it, and I can't even edit it. They've since fixed that. That was like a big issue they had for a while. But like these are things and problems that exist on YouTube. And Twitch doesn't work like this. The way it works, brother, you can watch The Avengers and then listen to Taylor Swift's soundtrack. You make all of the money from your ads. And because they do not run ads on the VODs anyway, what will happen to you is they will punish you by either muting the sections of those VODs and occasionally giving you a strike. And if you get 3 strikes, you get banned. For example, remember our old outro music? It used to be from Welcome to the NHK. The reason we stopped doing that is because I was losing the revenue of all of my VODs. So I had to switch to OOT. So these are little things. These are little things. This is just one reason why it is relatively easy during the stream to make money on Twitch as opposed to YouTube. Because what you do on YouTube, right? Like Charlie said, a lot of the revenue is unlocked after the stream's over, but you lose that revenue if you break some of these rules. It can be relatively easy and straightforward for gaming. I think that's why it works so well for someone like Noah J. But someone who does variety, who might not be good at that good at video games, it can impact. The other issue is the fractured community, because there are just different conversations going on right now on Twitch and YouTube, different emotes in different cultures that you'll never be able to It just never will totally click, which is why people have taken, I would argue, some very bold like solutions. For example, Fuslie, who streams on YouTube, gets more views on YouTube, turns off her YouTube chat. Think about that. She's literally outperforming her Twitch stream on YouTube and still not letting them talk because she doesn't want to deal with the fractured communities and prefers the community available on Twitch, or at least the chat that is available on Twitch. Okay? Which is like a pretty bold thing to do. Now, just to be clear, I don't think she's like dogging her YouTube viewers, because she's still giving them the stream and the ability to watch, which is ultimately what she cares about. And I think that's what a lot of her viewers care about. But I find that to be like, you know, an interesting solution. So it's like, okay, well, Ludwig, why don't you do that? The third reason, right now, I have more people watching on YouTube than Twitch. We can say that outright. I think if I were to stream exclusively on YouTube, this number would increase. There is a portion of people who watch me on YouTube who would switch over to Twitch. That is true. There are a portion who would stop watching me. There are a portion who would continue to support me and watch me on Twitch. And then there are a portion who, you know, might change their minds partway through. Maybe they'd stop watching at the start, then start watching. You get what I'm saying. But there is a portion, right, who would fall. In the same way that when I switched to YouTube initially, there was a portion who followed me from from Twitch over to YouTube. And this number would be bigger. Now, why does it matter if your Twitch number is bigger? Why does it functionally matter? And the answer is because on Twitch, that's what gets you more views. If you have more viewers in a category, you get more views on Twitch. It snowballs. It snowballs and it snowballs. If you are the top streamer in League of Legends or the second top streamer in League of Legends, then the number one person ends their stream, you get an influx of viewers. Your viewership goes up, okay? You'll notice this. You'll notice the biggest streamers in the world, anytime there's like League Worlds or Valorant champs, they'll start playing League or they'll start playing Valorant. And when the tournament is over, they'll get a lot of the bleed in viewership because they're like second in the category. And then they keep going. This is an issue that people have talked about for years. Doesn't exist on YouTube. My viewership number wouldn't really go up on YouTube because my viewership number on YouTube is based off of basically two factors. It's based off of my title and thumbnail and my average view duration. That is pretty much it. Over the past 3 years of streaming on YouTube, what makes it go up is something compelling that hooks people to keep watching. That can be a gimmick, like a countdown timer, which I've done in the past, where I literally put a timer on the screen, and the closer that gets to zero, the more people continue to watch because they're excited for it to hit zero and my viewership goes up. Or it can be something like playing games that lend themselves to higher viewership, like Suika Game, or a speedrunning game like Only Up, where the viewer retention gets higher the closer the run gets to finishing, and so it recommends to stream more and more people watch. That is how to stream on YouTube. It is harder. I can say unequivocally, it is way harder to do. And I know this because I've done both for almost an equal amount of time. It is way harder to get more viewers on YouTube and increase viewer retention in a significant way. And I get punished way more when I'm switching gears or topics. People on Twitch are really down to fucking sit there and watch the fucking stream, seemingly even when it's dog shit. I don't know why. They're locked in though. They had this shit on their second monitor until they literally die in atrophy in their chair. It's never off. But on YouTube, I feel myself competing against recommended videos in the side tab or, you know, delicious homepage recommendations. And if I'm not fucking dangling the keychains, I'm losing the war a lot. And you guys probably as viewers experience this maybe without even noticing. Do you ever go to a Twitch stream and you think to yourself, wow, this person doesn't have as many viewers as I would think they would have? And then you look at how long they have been live and you think, oh, okay, they've only been live 20 minutes. This viewership number will climb. And you have almost this like internal dialogue of like, yeah, I naturally know that viewership increases and maybe around like the hour to 90-minute mark, you're going to reach your kind of base level viewership that will be consistent throughout the rest of the stream. YouTube, we have almost the entire group in within the first 5 minutes. Everyone has showed up. And the only way for it to go up is not time live. It is what I am currently doing, captivating you for a longer period of time. Maybe 5 minutes is an exaggeration, but like 15, 30 minutes, you get the idea. Like I go down in viewership on YouTube usually by the 30-minute mark. Like it's fucking up because I already have a few thousand people in the waiting room. It's gone live. There's another notification. Everyone's in there. And then people are like, nah, I don't really care. And then they leave. As opposed to Twitch, where my peak viewership might be at the 2, 3, 4, 5 hour mark. So that's just like, we're basically removing one area of control as a streamer. Hours streamed, which normally has a correlation with increased viewership, because hours streamed has no impact on viewership for YouTube. Some of my best streams on YouTube are streams that last an hour long. That would never happen on Twitch. Okay, finally, revenue. So the other thing about Twitch is that you make a lot more money with subs. Now on YouTube, I had it basically split into 2 tiers. You had 2 different levels of membership. You had the $1 tier, and then you had the $6 tier. All right, the Parasocial Club, and then the Ludwig tier. And we had about, at our peak, 40,000 people who were in the $1 tier and 4,000 people who were in the $6 tier. And obviously, I'm the one who personally changed it to $1. But even before switching it to $1, when it was the standard $5, I had about, I'd say like, I think maybe 7,000 people or something. I've been back on Twitch for a week, and we're currently at 13,000 subs, which is more than my peak membership on YouTube in 3 years. And there's one obvious reason why this happened, and it's Twitch Prime. It's just like an absolute treasure trove of a subsidy that Amazon gives to streamers who like shout it out enough and have a large enough viewership. It is a bit of a money glitch. So let's just pull up like my best YouTube stream, and then I'll pull up my best Twitch stream. Because I can do the same activity Charlie did. I did have a very good stream that happened quite recently. You might have heard of it. It's called League Week. League Week performed really well. Let me see if I can find it. League Week performed incredibly well. We streamed for 1, 2, 3, 4 days. And in day 1, we had the largest earning because we made a lot off of Prime subs. So I'll just show it. Ready? Okay. First, I'm going to show you my biggest ever YouTube stream. Like my absolute biggest ever in terms of earnings. Now, unfortunately, this stream did not make any more money after ending because the VOD was over 12 hours. And when a VOD lasts more than 12 hours, it is no longer viewable. So it might have made more money, but I'll never really know. This stream, you might remember, is me and Squeaks playing Elden Ring. That is my second best VOD all time. And it made $22,000. That's 60 hours. We ran ads very consistently throughout the entirety of it. And it's a big chunk of money. And I'm not exactly sure. This includes memberships. Yeah. So this includes memberships. This includes super chats. This is everything all in. This is the second biggest YouTube stream. This is the biggest one. Is if I laugh, my chat wins $100. New jet lag. It made $29,000. For whatever reason, this video, based off the title and thumbnail, got 2 million views. I don't know how, but it was a 4-hour video that got 2 million views. No clue how. Streamer Games made 10,000 for day 2 and 14,000 for day 1. What the fuck? The only thing I got was a headache. Good one. He doesn't miss. Squeaks. So right now I have 13,000 subs. 2,500 on Twitch are people who give me $5 a month, personally out of their own pocket. 1,000 are gifted subs, which means, what is that? 9,500 of my subs right now are Twitch Primes. That alone is $30,000. And just in League Week, this is how much I made on Twitch, considering the Primes and the ads. So it's a lot more. And I don't think what Charlie is saying is wrong, because I'm not going to make another penny on Twitch from those streams. But I don't think it requires multi-streaming to unlock the additional revenue. It just requires good titling and thumbnailing and quick uploading onto the VOD channel. And my bet, and I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But my bet is that the increased viewership on Twitch, rather than having, whatever, it will balance out. Obviously, today might be like a higher viewership day. But like maybe if I kept doing this for a month, I might have 10K on YouTube and 7K on Twitch. Like I could believe that. My bet is on myself that I become a bigger streamer, and I am the biggest streamer in every category I'm in on Twitch. That's I'm basically betting on myself that this increased viewership for whoever does follow me from YouTube over to Twitch will increase my numbership enough that I'll be 15 to 20K, 20 to 25K, whatever it is, and I'll do good enough marathons or have good enough stream ideas that they will be increasing my viewership, not keeping it the same on Twitch. Because I don't see a path forward to increase my viewership on YouTube. I don't see it. But I believe in a path forward to increase my viewership on Twitch. And I think if I believe in myself in this path forward for Twitch, multi-streaming will cap some of my success for that growth on Twitch. Queso doesn't get to be where Queso is right now, I think, and maybe I'm wrong about this, if he has, 20K on each platform. I think him having 40K, 50K viewers makes more people watch him. Twitch is a platform where the rich get richer. If you're at the top of the category, more people watch. And so maybe I'm crazy as a guy who's about to turn 30 fucking years old. Like, this is where I can be wrong. I'm 100% down to admit if I do become wrong or if I'm proven wrong or whatever in 2 years. But my bet is as a 30 fucking year old man next year, I will grow as a streamer. If my goal was to maximize the amount of money with the viewers that I have right now, I would stream on both. I would stream on both. I would try to get memberships on both and subs on YouTube, Twitch, memberships on YouTube, run ads on both. Like, that's what I would do if I was trying to maximize the amount of money I was trying to make. What I'm trying to do is still grow as a streamer, which maybe is fucking delusional because I've been doing it for 6 years now. But this is the argument that I have outlaid for why I think Twitch is the more viable path to grow. Because I don't think League Week would have done nearly as well on YouTube. And it's not because I'm lazy and I don't want to reset the VOD after 12 hours. It's because the streams functionally perform worse when you have to constantly reset them. They just functionally perform worse. And the VODs also perform worse because you have now created viewer confusion where they have to watch over 9 separate videos. And I promise you, 9 separate videos are not going to go crazy in the algorithm, especially if they're titled first 12 hours, second 12. Like, I don't even know how you would title that. So that's why my goal is to stream on Twitch and see how it works. I'm not closing a door. I'm not saying I will never stream on YouTube again. And I know a lot of people will be disappointed who watched and supported me on YouTube, like someone who just called me a dumbass. But I think this has the best chance of making me a bigger streamer this exact day, December 14th, 2025. And I failed once, right? Not to like fucking burden you with the shit that burdens me, but like, I failed once. I was not big enough for OffBrand Productions. I wasn't. I factually was not a big enough streamer. And because of that company failed. Okay? And I will not spend one day for the rest of my life like not feeling guilt about that. Okay? Because that was my dream. That was my idea of a company, and that is my failure. No matter who, might have fucked over some finance aspects of it, that's my fault because it's my company. And I don't want to do that again. Yeah. So I'm not doing it because it's like YouTube chatters. I like Twitch. It's not it. And I promise, I understand I might be delusional. I might be, but I think I can do it. And if I have like a little bit of confidence, like, I have to go on that. And to everyone, because I know people on both platforms tuned in. So everyone who watched League Week, like, that gave me some confidence too. And obviously not every stream is going to be League Week, obviously. But like, that shit was dope. Like, that was sick. That was sick. And I want to do that again. I want to do more of that. And I don't mean play League at a fucking silver level. I mean the broader stream idea.